colors. We're happy and we're singing and we're colored. Give me a high five.
All right, cut and print. Beautiful, guys. Dynamite. That is.
And welcome to episode 142 of the BrawlCast, live here on the Sports Hit List here on Facebook. We're also live on YouTube at The Backstage Brawl and our YouTube account at The Backstage Brawl. And of course, we're on Twitter at Backstage_Brawl. We're live there as well. So, fuck with you boys. I am your host and your moderator, the People's Champion, back from vacation, joined today by one member of the Yerrr Sports Show team, BK Matt, aka the Bobby Brown of Shop.
I'm Hennessy Brown and
sexy. I ain't saying that shit live.
Sticking with that. I'm Hennessy Brown and sexy.
Oh, and of course, coming back this week is my tag team partner, IWC Big E, aka Grizz, aka the Diamond Cutter, is back, and of course, my brother, literally my brother, the Golden Child, aka Jean-Louis, as we are back this week as we tap into King of the Ring tournament round 2 and other things as well in the world of wrestling. And as usual, as we start our show, we start off with a vibe check. Gentlemen, how are we feeling on this Saturday afternoon?
Listen, I'm chilling on it. My whole week, which we've talked off camera, crazy. Saturday,
you're 69.
I'm ready. I'm ready. Listen, we can. I think the dust is settled, but this is not the time nor place to talk about that. But we need to have a real discussion about 2024 in general. Because Jay's first name, is that's the person that really kicked this.
No.
Ken Williams.
He's president of 2024.
Yeah,
he's president of 2024.
This is his year.
Vice President Shannon Sharp. That's what it is. I think that
Matt,
everyone needs to understand that. We don't need to address the Diddy situation. I'm sure that
no.
many other.
I'm glad that I even got to talk about it. Another show.
But I don't want to steal your shine, Grizz. Take it away, man. Take it away. Your week.
Hey, listen. Besides that, the week it's been up and down. Burnt out week for me, but hopefully, sometime soon, get a nice recharge and I'll feel good, be ready to go. Job's never done, never. Also check out episode 4. Had to think about it, of the Dog Days of Baseball podcast. Me and Pete, the voice of a generation. Yeah, I know the name.
I hate that name.
I know the name. Pete voted on the name. There's a story behind it.
Terrible name.
You can't bury on camera.
We can't bury.
You can't bury. You out here burying your own product now. You gotta sprout.
Not short. No, the inside's
Paul
good.
Heyman promotes his opponents now. What are you doing?
But you guys have a good show. I'm about to go on the other show real quick. I just want to show love. Say what's up to everybody. I guess
all good. All good.
Somebody cross everybody, including Pete.
Yeah.
Bob, Henny Brown is sexy is officially Roman Reigns in the draft. He withdraws himself, and now it's just a triple threat, ladies and gentlemen. We keep it rolling. We're gonna keep it rolling.
All right. How's y'all week been, man? I feel like I haven't seen y'all in so long, man.
I mean, listen, man. I already know you have a heavy workload in terms of your schedule and how you do down there, man, and with the airport, what American Airlines is doing. So I already know how that goes. I know Jay's been working throughout the playoffs, doing the ticket for both the Rangers and the Knicks. So it's been kind of tough. So it's been rough. I know. We're not trying to get into that. I'm trying to run it through as much as we can. And then believe me, listen,
I don't even want to talk about that.
Listen, man, listen. I ain't trying to talk about it till tomorrow after 3:30.
It's only the only saving grace, the only silver lining in that. The Knicks have an
my name tag.
Yeah, that. hopefully he's okay.
Yeah.
And the silver lining in that is
we get with you back.
The Knicks can actually close out a series on their floor. This will be the first series they've closed out on their floor in a long time. So we'll see.
We'll see
if it happens.
Yeah.
Not putting anything out there in the universe.
Yeah. But outside of that, I had a pretty good week. I was vacationing in Hollywood Beach, having a good time. So enjoyed myself. Got a chance to reconnect with some family as well. That was kind of a bucket list of mine as well. Got a chance to hit up a gun range for the first time. It was pretty cool. So, got a lot of shots off that I needed to get off.
You have at it, man. And then what? No, you can't. Listen, this is. I'm explaining.
Listen. No. I had a very nice vacation. I'm
there you go. You big it up.
I had a very nice vacation. And a really good time. All the restaurants, the beach, the resort, everything top notch. Hollywood Beach. Parts of North Miami. It was great. I had a real good time. I had a good time, man.
See, Grizz. Here's what I love to pick on people's champ. You know what I mean? It's little brother syndrome. I love it. But here's the thing. Anytime it's a good thing for him, he downplays it to the zenith level, right? And when it's a bad thing, he goes into this whole soliloquy, and it's 10 minutes before we get into a first segment. So let me tell you something. I'm happy for you. We are all happy for you. Big up your chest when life is going good.
No. I mean, listen, things have been going well for me. I had a good 4 days in Florida.
We just can't live off of your selfies and occasional captions on Twitter. We can't do that. We need the good, gritty, the genuine. We need to know the real you, man. All right?
I guess in that case, that's why the chat called me Batman this week. So,
I was like, I didn't know when they cast the caramel Batman, but your people call my people. You know what I'm saying? But all well, this ends well. Back in NY. But you did have a wonderful thing. Hopefully, the honeymoon of the vacation doesn't wear off too soon. You get to settle in. I know this is day one, so that's all that matters. My week, it don't matter what my week is. Read the title of my name this week. That's all you need to know. Just read the title.
I forgot one more thing. I did a thing this week. I actually posted an article while I was on vacation. So
first article, there you go.
My first article in 10 years.
There you go.
So I did it on a whim. So I was like, fuck it. It's around the sports hit list right now. It's time to respect Coach Tibbs, give Coach Tibbs the respect. So that's the article that's out right now. So shout out to Carl Colons, the editor-in-chief here at the Sports Hit List. So check out my article right now. That's on the Sports Hit List WordPress. So that's that.
I could sense the self-reflection as you're saying it. Speak it with your chest, man.
I need you kind of energy I need right now. I need like Shannon Sharp. No. You know what this is? This is your mama. The delivery is perfect. It just needs a little more stink. It just needs a little more stink. You know what I'm saying? Stink on that thing.
Exactly. So we keep it rolling. What's going
on? Listen, man. Let's keep it rolling. Let's go with our first. Let's go with our first take of the show here at the BrawlCast. Let's kick it off from Monday Night Raw. There's been some fickle fans, man. They strike again. So, what's up with these fickle fans on social media? Everybody's been doing the yeet. Everybody's been yeeting with Jey Uso. From the start. Since his rise on Monday Night Raw, and he faced Ilya Dragunov in round 2 of the King of the Ring tournament, which was the main event for Monday Night Raw, and which saw him defeat Ilya Dragunov on taking his first loss on the main roster. And fans are kind of up in arms because of his great run in NXT. And now people seem to turning on Jey Uso, not just only for that match, but also I'm saying, well, he kind of took the Fireflies from Bray, and they kind of made a whole big thing about it. And now they're turning on Jey Uso. So what's with the fickleness with these fans, man? So, who wants to tackle this on? Doesn't really matter.
I guess I'll go first. This is on my mind. So let's get into it, right? Let's get this part of it out the way. The whole Firefly thing, I think that's a setup to basically introduce Uncle Howdy, because we all know, if you've seen the Bray documentary, if you know, you saw the ending, you know how it ends. It's no shocker. Bo Dallas was supposed to be Uncle Howdy. Unfortunately, with the passing of Bray Wyatt and everything that happened, it just never caught steam again. Now, Bo, being the little brother that he is, he wants to do right by his big brother. we're going to see this character anyway. I think that's just what the setup is, and I think fans are taking it the wrong way. They're not looking at it through a wrestling lens. They're thinking of, oh, this man's being disrespectful. It's not being disrespectful. You got to set look at it this way. If you bring in Uncle Howdy, how do you set up Uncle Howdy? What's his first feud? We don't know nothing about him. We know everything about who Bray Wyatt was. We know if Bray was still here, we know, okay, going into that WrestleMania, it was either Bobby or Brock Lesnar that he was going to face. He was facing Bobby. So we know that was going to happen. Who knows where they would have went afterwards in this new direction that they're going in. But there's different avenues you could go down. You could say, oh, he could go up against Cody. He could go after Seth when he comes back. You know, you don't know anything about Bo Dallas and Uncle Howdy, and no disrespect to Bo, and it's not a knock on him, but we don't know much about him. You know, the last time we saw Bo, he was in a tag team, you know, the B team. We don't know who Bo is as a single star and as this kind of character. So it's actually great that he's getting this, you know, rub from Jey Uso to say, hey, I'm stealing the Fireflies away. Whether you could look at it as Jey Uso being a heel or not, we all know Bo Dallas is going to be an anti-hero, just like how Bray was. So there's that part of it. The second part of it, the Dragunov situation. Look, you're only as good as what you've recently done. You ran NXT between you and a few other people. You, Carmelo Hayes, Braun Breaker, you guys ran NXT. Y'all were in light of recent situations, y'all were the big three. That's what y'all were. Now you're on the main roster. You're not going to beat a guy who's been on the main roster longer than you on paper when you look at it. If I'm in a creative situation, I have to do what makes sense. At the end of the day, Jey Uso advancing in this King of the Ring tournament makes sense right now at this point. Dragunov, again, similar like Bo Dallas. We don't know too much about Dragunov. Main roster Dragunov, should I say. Not NXT Dragunov. Let's stop living in the past. And this is the problem with fans. Fans want NXT to carry over onto the main roster. And it's not going to resonate with everyone on the main roster. As far as the consumer, it's not going to resonate with everyone. You have to look at it through a lens of NXT people only watch NXT. So how do we introduce this man to the main roster people who only watch Raw and SmackDown? How do we introduce him? Because let's just say if we're one of those people, we're the ones that only watch Raw and SmackDown. We know who Jey Uso is. We've seen Jey Uso for years. He's been in the tag team. He's getting shine right now. He's had multiple championship matches. He's came close, hasn't really, gotten over that hump, but he's looking like a main event player. He is main event Jey Uso. Then you have this guy, Dragunov. If I only watch Raw and SmackDown, how do I know who Dragunov is? And why is he going over on Jey Uso? Because of what he did in NXT? I don't care what he did on NXT. What has he done on the main roster? So that's how fans have to look at it. It's not the fact of the matter that we don't know what Dragunov is capable of. It's the fact of the matter is that you have to pay your dues. Just like on any new job that you go to in life, you have to pay your dues before you can be that guy. You can't just come in and be that guy. There's only a select few people that have done that. And that's one of them is AJ Styles. And even to a fault, AJ Styles had to pay dues. So he definitely did. I mean, look at the man had 4 matches with Chris Jericho. I mean, come on. He didn't come in and be a champion right away. It took time. So everything takes time. Everything. Even our favorite Gunther had to pay his dues as well. He looked like a machine doing it, but he was beating people that you were like, okay, this is getting boring. It seemed like the regular Vince McMahon-esque kind of thing when he gets somebody, he doesn't know what to do with them. they put them in squash matches. Braun Strowman was there for years until they find a spot for him. And now Gunther was there for years. Well, he's there for a couple of months. And then they found a spot for him. And now with this new direction he's going in, he's in a direction where he should be. So in closing, give it time, fans. Stop overthinking. Dragunov is fine. He is not hurt by this loss. If anything, it helps him in the long run. And it helps the story in the long run as well. And they're also kind of teasing him and Gunther a little bit, which I like too.
Yeah.
So,
No, they I think and we can kind of rope this in with the LA Knight thing. We don't have to, so I'll just keep that.
Another person.
I'll keep that on the shelf for now. Elaborating on the Ilya and Jay thing. A lot of points. Jay, reason why we're all kind of up in arms about this is that in years prior, when this was, when it was just Roman's reign, and it seemed like nobody can kind of like break that glass ceiling, the only people that you can envision potentially doing it storyline wise was a Jay. So last year we didn't really have a thought process. We didn't even have an issue with like, yo, he's in the main event. It would be cool if he wins this title or that title. Maybe he should win it. Like, I remember even 3 months ago when he was facing Gunther, even 2 months ago when he was facing Gunther, yo, it'd be cool if he be Yerrr. What's going on, Respect the Craft podcast? But it up until a certain point, it was okay for Jay to basically step out of the shadow of the Usos and the bloodline and be a singles championship. It wasn't so many months ago. The only difference is that now we have a lot more talents that, especially off the stench of like, yo, we know how Vince does. You brought up Gunther, right? And how he had to earn the stripes. Remember Survivor Series when he was like the first person eliminated? Pepperidge Farm remembers, right? That was under Vince. So a lot of people have that stench of like, if they get this loss, it'll just end up like that. If they get this loss, it'll just be like another Aleister Black. If they get this loss, it'll be just like another Johnny Gargano, a Tommaso Ciampa, or you'll have to like reinvigorate stuff. And yes, like we've kind of hampered on the Triple H run and saying, yo, it's completely different than Vince, right? But just the fact that they have you have the stare down. Just the fact that on Friday Night SmackDown, you saw LA Knight in 3 to 4 segments in the span of an hour. That should tell you the amount of investment that they're giving. Now, granted, they're not having the success that they necessarily want. But on the flip side, you get a carbon copy of what AEW does. So, for instance, you wanted Gunther and Ilya a month after, not even a month after he got drafted. That's essentially what AEW does with every tag team, FTR versus the Young Bucks, every singles feud, every main event talent. I mean, granted, it's a fresh feud because, you know, with a lot of those like independent partnerships with New Japan. But the first feud of Sasha Banks, or now Mercedes Moné, is a person that she's already feuded with in another territory. So now, if we were to say, have a conversation about AEW, the conversation would be what's next after that. And they would have to build up after that, which has been the main proponent, the main issue with that company. So the flip side is the same criticisms that you give them. So what do you want? Do you want to let them cook, or do you want them to give you something immediately? And that's the conversation that we have here. I think it's less of a situation with Ilya, and it's more of a situation with finally seeing Jay in the limelight. But also, I kind of think it was Mania's match, because this whole narrative with Jay started with that Mania match, because I feel like everyone was waiting for that moment to happen. And he's addressed it in an interview with Inside the Ropes, if I'm not mistaken, about how time was limited. And we can get into maybe they could have gotten to certain things, something else. But apparently they wanted to focus on the storyline beat, to each is their own. But I think once they had that match, we started to look sideways at the Jey Uso match. The people who were calling them super kick merchants started speaking louder and louder. So now you get this whole dynamic. The byproduct is essentially the new talents like an Ilya, a Gunther, an X, Y, and Z be, kind of talked big on behalf of a Jay who's basically being trashed in the media. So I think that that's what we're seeing right now. Ultimately, let it cook, give it time, give praise where it's due. And if you rocked with him before that Mania match, you can still rock with him after that Mania match. And that's essentially the deal.
Yeah.
Because they're building something. Now, that Firefly Funhouse thing, story for another day. But real quick, I really hope that the first feud is Braun Strowman. I'm gonna just
that would make a lot of sense. I hope so too. That would make more sense.
Because he, of all people, have the ties to the Firefly Funhouse and
to the family.
A lot of the beats of the family and a lot of the beats of You Forgot About Us. And this could be interpreted as just the fans. This can be interpreted as a character who is essentially forgot about his ilk.
And not only that, if they go through with which I think some of the QR codes have hinted at it, the Wyatt 6, if they hinted at that, that's a way of recruitment in a way.
Exactly. And
so,
you
I'm not mad at it.
And you put it in a perspective with Braun. Braun, I think, but the last big match I would imagine with Bray was that title match at SummerSlam with Braun, or not SummerSlam, the match where Roman won the title.
Yeah,
right?
Payback.
So when you look at that and you kind of see the dynamics, Braun left off with the Wyatt family not only abandoning them, but really fighting them.
Right.
So
pinning the matriarch.
I feel like, again, hey, it could be a Jey Uso feud, but in my mind, I want that Braun. I want that Braun feud. That's him.
Makes perfect sense to me.
That's gonna be there. You could even toss in Eric Rowan. You could big up Dexter Lumis because I know he's rumored for that thing. And imagine like a Hoss match between Dexter Lumis and Braun and all these different people coming to help Dexter Lumis win. I think that's kind of a dynamic, but that's not the main proponent. People's champ. Let's keep it rolling.
All right. So there was another question that was posted at from this past Raw this week, and
okay.
I hate to do it because it's like we love him so much. But guys, is it time for the New Day to break up?
No.
Yeah. Okay.
So who wants to tackle this uncomfortable question?
Okay, this it's very uncomfortable because the black side of me is saying the black nerd and wrestling fan in me is saying don't do it. It's not I never want the New Day to break up. I don't. But I have to admit it has been a different dynamic without Big E. I'm not going to say they can't thrive without him because they have been thriving without him. Have they had much success, or let's spin it this way, not success. Have they had more notoriety since? I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so. Their on-screen time is less and less. They're in less tag teams. They're in less tag team opportunities. I think we can count on one hand how many tag team title opportunities they've had. So outside of this past WrestleMania, I'm 50-50. I'm 50-50. I'm saying yes because it helps not only Xavier, who I think has another level to go to, but it also helps Kofi in the long run as well. Because I feel like they're in a state where they're just in purgatory. They're not trending up, they're not trending down. They're just coasting at this point.
Okay. I mean, I guess I'll answer. I'll pull a me. I'll answer this with a question. People's champ. We brothers, blood brothers, right? What happens if you or I are complacent at something, or you need something out, or I need something out of you, you need something out of me? What happens? There's conflict, is there not?
Yeah.
But does that sever any ties?
No.
Does that let you create dissension? Even if for X amount of months, yeah, you could be angry. Yeah, you could have some animosity. Yeah, you could be like, ah. But it could be targeted towards something else, right?
Yeah.
It's not a heel turn. It's not a split that the New Day need. It's a direction. That is all. And the only issue is that their direction for the better part of like, I want to say what, 3-4 years has been just their character. That's it. Their character has been their direction. Yo, I'm with the vibes. Yo, I'm playing video games and you think it's nerdy, so let's fight. That's been their direction. The whole thing about them basically turning heel, okay, all right, then what? Like, we keep going back to this turn heel, split up, this, that, what have you. And then what? What are they supposed to do? Well, like, what is Xavier Woods gonna be going babyface and he's gonna go off and eventually be Gunther? It could happen, potentially, but understand how much other tag teams are in the same position. Weren't we not talking about the Street Profits? What, before Bobby Lashley uniting, even after? It's a direction issue. It's not a split up issue. It is a direction issue. And if there's a scenario, let's say, where they lose a match and Kofi sits in the backstage and Xavier's like, yo, we'll get him next time. And Kofi's like, yo, I am one of the most decorated people on this roster. This is offensive to me, this lack of success. Like, we need to get up on that stuff. We need to get up. We need to start grinding. And Xavier's like, yo, no, I get it. No, you do not get it. You weren't at WrestleMania. You weren't a main eventer like I was. You didn't even win a singles title like I did. Yeah, you won King of the Ring, but everyone forgot about that already. I'm talking about leveling the hell up. And if that's about me fighting you at a certain point, then hey, let's keep it a beam. The one thing that is missing from a lot of these tag teams, not just the New Day, is the fact that you can fight them as a singles competitor and then come back as a tag team. Remember when there was King of the Ring tournaments and the Hardys were fighting each other and Edge and Christian were fighting each other and they were going back together? It never got stale, did it not? So I don't necessarily think it long overdue. As a unit, I can understand where you're coming from with that standpoint. But again, you have to look at the dynamic of every, like, the amount of tag teams are in the same exact situation. You're just creating another Shad JTG. You're just creating another XY. You're creating a situation where it's like, okay, it's stale. It's time to break up because reasons. There's really no substance there. So you have to apply substance before you could build on that. So if you want to turn them heel, if you want to split them up, apply something worth of substance. Give them a goal to attain first. And then apply the conflict. But in my opinion, don't even necessarily need that conflict to make them split. You just need a direction for them. That is all.
So how about this, right? Now that you say that.
Yeah.
Really, because forgive me, because I haven't been home to watch wrestling not in a very long time, but in a while.
All good.
You could have a scenario where Miz and Truth are going up against the New Day. And, Truth can do his little stick, which, he all loves and everything. We all love him for it. But this is a different type of New Day. It's a different New Day we've seen before. This is a more serious New Day. They're not playing around. They're not coming out doing all the fun-loving stuff and pancakes and bootios. They're not doing none of that. We're talking just straight. Put it like this: Bayley when she turned heel. I think you need something of that magnitude that shows you, okay, they mean business. Like something of that. Like Bayley came out still with the Bayley buddies and everything, and then she chopped them down. I'm not saying they got to do something similar to that, but something along the lines of that wavelength for people to be like, okay, you have my attention. Because like you said, it needs substance. It needs something as of, okay, you turn heel. why are you turning heel? For what reason are you turning heel?
Yeah.
Outside of, okay, the character is stale, you know, it's time to break them up, like that. Or even if you don't turn them heel, make them a more, like you said, you could have that Kofi give that prep talk. You could have that more aggressive baby face, kind of like how the Usos were.
I feel you. Let me raise you something, and you tell me if this quick fantasy book you're interested in this, right?
Okay.
Money in the Bank still going on later on this summer, right? Early summer, late spring. Okay. We get the Money in the Bank qualifier matches. Leading up to this, Kofi and Xavier, maybe they lose a tag match. Similar to that. They don't turn heel, they just feel disappointed. Then they have a qualifier match, and then Kofi is like, yo, I signed up, man, because you know me, I'm the King of the Ring guy. You know, if I win, we all win, right? Yeah. What you got tonight? What you got going on? I actually got the King of the Ring tournament. Xavier, you in the King of the Ring? Yeah, I'm in the qualifier. Well, who you facing tonight? You. They have the match. It's a very hard, like competitive. Like at first, it's touch and go. It's one of those test of strength. Oh, I see what you did. All that little thing, and then they get into the nitty gritty of it. Good little solid 10-15 minute match. Maybe goes into a commercial break, right? Xavier wins. Kofi hints at a heel turn, and he's just like, "That's my brother, man." Hugs him from behind. Everyone's clear, clapping, all that stuff. And then we come back on the show, and we're just like, yo, I think Kofi's going to turn heel. Da, 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 da. Leading up to that show, Xavier has competitive matches along the way. Kofi Kingston sees that. He levels up his game. Money in the Bank happens. Car crash affair. Maybe somebody else who went in a faction has someone help them. Kofi comes out to help Xavier, but then he sees the ladder. He sees Xavier on the top, and it looks like he's gonna basically turn on him. But he essentially guides Xavier. Xavier doesn't necessarily win, but he's the last person seen before the winner eventually wins the title. Just that story alone. Does that make you interested in the New Day?
It actually does, because it's like we're giving it to you, but we're taking it away. It's
That's
like not
all
yet.
you need.
That's all you need.
It's like just make Xavier, because we all know the worst kept secret in all of this conversation is that Xavier Woods is not credible.
Yeah.
No disrespect. As a tag team wrestler, he's credible. As a character, he's credible. But as he can compete against Gunther and win tomorrow. It'll be a nice moment, but it doesn't really do nothing for you. But if I give you that, it does something for you. That's all you need. You need a direction. So that this whole thing about them having to split up,
I think we're both saying the same thing. So
yeah, no, of course. Again, it's just a matter of just where you want their vision to go.
Yeah,
man. What about you, man?
Huh? Oh, New Day. Do I want them to break up? I'm sorry.
It's all Gucci, man.
Woo, Grizz, look at your phone, Grizz. Yeah, the New Day. Do I think they should break up? I think they should be repackaged. I would more or less like to see a different. Yeah, Grizz. Yeah. But yeah, I just feel like it should be a repackage. I think everybody's kind of like over. Yeah, I'm speechless. Send it to Gene. Please send it to Gene so he can get blessed with this. I just don't understand my luck these days. But yeah, I want to see a darker version of the New Day. They've had a bad string of luck lately. You know, injuries, E being gone. I'm so mad that they didn't capitalize on that Imperium feud. I felt like that was
that was the moment.
What it was. and it just went bad after a while because they just stopped going that route because everything went, sold on, Gunther with the IC, which is fair. I just feel like with this new revamp variation of the tag team divisions on both brands, I feel like we need to see a darker New Day. Like, not so happy, not so joyous, more or less like
a tweak. Just a tweak in their characters. They don't have to be necessarily.
I need Woods. Like, you saw how Woods had that aggressive nature that he was showing. I feel like both of them should have that. Like, I think we need to hear Kofi Kingston cursing now. I think that's what we need to see, and it needs to be believable. Grizz, you still looking at it?
I peep game. I peep game myself.
Don't give me a mic. Shit. Sorry.
Just to summarize it, just make Kofi Kingston his character on Up Up Down Down, and we Gucci. Mr. Gacho, what? Mr. Gacho ass. That's all. That's all you need. That's all you need.
I'm saying, like, just make it
let
darker.
me be more swag.
Tag team division shit is looking up. I really feel like they're gonna make the Usos get back together, which I'm not a fan of, by the way. I'm just not.
Agreed.
But
agreed. Yeah. I mean, you see the writing on the wall. But let's switch gears real quick before we get back to WWE. Let's go to AEW real quick. But there's one thing that's been kind of rumored as of late, but there's more smoke to the fire, and that is for one and the only Mr. Ricky Starks. It is not necessarily him being on TV, but it's basically saying, more so for him in terms of how his career in AEW is coming to an end. Him not being on TV, a lot of stuff.
I haven't heard his name in like.
I was about to say, what's the last thing that he did?
He lost the titles to Sting and Darby.
And Darby, yeah. So
that's the last I saw.
And I think he was in something with Jericho recently with Big Bill. Like, it's just like at this point.
Jericho's FTW champion. Like, what are they doing over there?
Yeah,
the learning tree is the worst that I've seen. But let's keep it on Ricky Starks. Let's keep it on Ricky Starks because it's been heavily rumored over the last couple of years since Cody left for WWE the fact that he might be one of the biggest names to jump ship. Obviously, Jay Cargill jumped ship last year to WWE last summer.
What made me laugh. It was Jay just telling me like it's a mess, but let's just move on.
Yeah, pretty much. It seems more and more that Ricky Starks might look to jump ship. Is there smoke to the fire, boys? You think Ricky Starks might, find his way into WWE soon?
We've said this on the show multiple times. There are some people in AEW who are just WWE-esque people, and he is one of them. He is a WWE guy all the way. He has the character, the aesthetics for it. He would honestly, if he goes to NXT, he would probably be one of the most talked about people since Carmelo Hayes to be on NXT.
I like that move.
Why? He doesn't need NXT.
Hold on. You agree, E, saying that he should go to NXT first?
Yes.
State your case.
Grizz or me?
Both. Doesn't matter.
Oh, no. Before that even happens, there's something underlying here. You think that they should go to the main roster? State your case, People's Champ.
Right.
Because your insinuation implies to me that you think he's a main roster guy.
Not necessarily.
What does Donovan Mitchell to the Knicks? I mean, Ricky Starks to WWE, because that's how we're treating it, right? This is exactly how I'm heavily rumored for years. We're talking about it again. Like, it's not.
Pause.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Well, how do you feel about Donovan? I mean, Ricky going to the main roster. State your case.
I mean, if it is a possibility that he comes to the main roster, obviously there might not be any room for him. But I'm saying in terms of him going to NXT, this is a good opportunity for E and or Mike Matt to state their case in terms of why it belong, why he should go through the NXT pipeline. Like
so here's the thing. Here's the thing for me. It's the same aesthetics with AEW, right? Yeah. AEW gets these people, they sign Right. They sign these guys, and if you're not a big name, if you're not the Okadas of the world, if you're not, I can't even say Mercedes at this point because now it's been enough time for us to judge. Mercedes is a small fish in a big pond. Do we want that with Ricky Starks in this case? You're putting your focus on other guys on the main roster. Look at what we just said. You're developing a Jey Uso. You're developing a Gunther who is groomed to be the third or fourth world heavyweight champion. You're grooming Carmelo Hayes to be your next top guy. You're grooming a Braun Breaker. You're grooming a Dragunov. Like, it's just too much on one thing. Right now in NXT, they don't have that guy right now.
Yes, Grizz. He's saying everything I'm trying to say.
They don't have that guy.
Fair. That's fair.
And Ricky can be that guy to lead them into NXT. Remember, and here's the thing. And this will probably put a bow on this for this whole argument.
I got you next though.
And Jay will probably agree with me.
It was wild. I know.
It was. Wild.
You can look.
But you
can look to every era of NXT, and you can see who led that era of NXT.
Talk your shit, Grizz.
Finn Balor has led NXT twice.
Mm-hmm.
2 times.
Twice.
Adam Cole.
Baby.
Samoa Joe.
In his sleep.
Kevin Owens. Shinsuke Nakamura. Right. Shinsuke Nakamura. Sami Zayn.
Neville.
Yeah. Formerly known as Neville. Pac. Shit, you could argue Bo Dallas and Tyson Kidd.
Bo Lee. That was my guy.
Tyson Kidd killed in NXT, dog.
Yo, Tyson Kidd was an underrated guy in NXT.
Charlotte,
if you want to flip to the women, Charlotte Flair, Bayley, Nia Jax,
Shayna Baszler, Ember Moon,
Asuka. So many people.
Sane. Io
Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa. If you want to go recent, Braun Breaker, Carmelo Hayes, Dragunov. Now Trick Williams.
Trick needs somebody to go against.
And that makes the most perfect sense. And if I'm Shawn Michaels, Lexis King, Trick Williams, Ricky Starks. That is my 3 to lead me into this new era of NXT.
Because Noam Dar ain't it. I'm gonna say it.
Oh, that's my guy, Noam Dar. That's my guy. So don't do my guy like that.
I like him too, but we're not gonna play this game, bro. Let's be realistic, bro. Like, behind every great champion is an evenly great heel, and Ricky Starks is that heel that could probably make Trick Williams seem valid. And it's no diss to Trick. We all love Trick. We all fans of Trick. I'm happy that he's champion. I just feel like it shouldn't be a run where we're all gonna sit there like, damn, bro, like
it fell flat.
Kind of lackluster. Yeah, he needs that heel, and I don't see that in Noam Dar. I don't see that in I could still call him Brian Pillman Jr. I don't like Lexis King is kind of, but that's neither here nor there. Hey. But he needs a credible heel. He needs a real credible heel, and that's the only way it's going to make sense. Because think about Braun Breaker. What made Braun Breaker's run look so good? He had to go against Carmelo Hayes. Carmelo Hayes, what made him legit? The Dragunov feud, Samoa Joe and Finn Balor,
Shinsuke Nakamura,
KO. Sami Zayn and KO, like it all fell apart. It clicked together for it to work. He needs that heel, and it's unfortunate that AEW is going to lose their future, but we already know that they suck at building new talent. They do.
And Vaughn, shouts out to Vaughn. He said,
he says, what about Bakafemi? Yeah, I was reading that too. Yeah, Obafemi.
Yeah. Obafemi, listen, he got the
they're gonna see
the African American title right now, so we're gonna let him rock out.
African American title is crazy.
Well, that's mostly who's held it.
That's the WWE version of the Pat African title.
To the ring, I think about that. I think about the Wolves and Black Panther, yo. It's crazy. Am I bugging? Was it just me? Is it just me?
You not.
I don't see it too. I'm like, yo, why are they barking and growling for him to get into the ring? This is crazy.
It's very obvious. It's very obvious his influence.
I mean, Jay, what you think? You think he fits in the NXT, or you think he should go on the main roster?
I think he fits anywhere. The problem kind of lies in where main roster and AEW are kind of the same thing, where it's like, yeah, we'll push you, but we got this storyline we gotta build, we got this storyline we gotta build, we got this storyline we gotta build. NXT is probably perfect for him right now. Personally, for me, especially because of the youth movement kind of like going back and forth with AEW, I personally want him to stay. I know that's kind of crazy to say at this point, but it's like,
why?
They need fallback. Listen, I liked TNA back in the late 2000s when they brought everybody in, and a lot of people like Christopher Daniels stayed, weathered the storm. AJ Styles stayed, weathered the storm. Bobby Roode stayed, weathered the storm. James Storm stayed, weathered the storm. Eric Young stayed, weathered the storm. I can keep going further and further. I think that me being a pro WWE guy doesn't necessitate me to say, hey, let me see this guy in the WWE because he looks like a WWE guy. Because he does.
Can I raise your question?
Yeah.
Do you see the difference in booking? Because you said the TNA era, and I'm a fan of that era too. Even though I'm more of a fan of the $10 every Wednesday era versus the era that you're talking about.
Yeah.
Do you see the difference in booking with Jeff Jarrett and Tony Khan, where I feel like as if Jeff Jarrett made his young talent over, whereas Tony Khan is failing at that? Do you see the difference in that, or am I far-fetched with it?
I don't think you're far-fetched with it, but I think there's still some. I think we're not giving. I don't think it's that deep, basically, because there's still Swerve. Darby came back. He had the big,
They're failing on that.
No, I mean, but as a character, we all rock with him, right? Like LA.
Darby
okay,
needs rest.
if you want to play that, if you want to play the game of like failed booking, I'm pretty sure we're gonna get into LA Knight, right?
Oh yeah, 100%.
So I'm just in terms of people following the guys, right? Following the guys and believing in the guys and believing in the characters. As long as you have that, and you have the pomp and circumstance of having all those big name guys, yes. A guy like Okada, a guy, they're doing this whole feud with the Bucks and all that stuff, right? I think just this past week we were talking about implementing Swerve in the storyline and the fact that he doesn't necessarily need it and it'll make him look cooler, right? With the track record that they have of not building guys, I could say just as the same historically with WWE. So I can't necessarily say that just because he's a WWE looking guy, that it'll be an automatic W for WWE, because we do this. We did this the other way around back in 2019, where we were like, yo, they doing my boy Keith Lee dirty. If he just has a little bit of exposure, it's over. And now we flipped it on its head. So what I'm saying is, Ricky Starks, is it time to leave AEW? Sure. But where I'd rather him go, I'd rather him stay. That's just me. So.
And I think, I just before we move on, I think the whole Keith Lee situation, I think for him, it comes down to, now that we had time to really look and see it and digest it, I think it comes down to booking for him. I think it's hard to book somebody like Keith Lee. I think that's what it potentially comes down to. I think now, if he, like you said, you mentioned all those guys that weathered the storm in TNA. Unfortunately, Keith Lee couldn't weather the storm because he got released. But If he didn't get released and they kept him on, and I think we'd be having a different conversation. Like that would be a situation where, okay, whether he went back to NXT or stayed on the main roster and they found something for him, it would be something talked about. Now, in the sense of AEW, I don't think AEW knows what to do with him. It was just like, I think, and this is just me personally, and anybody can correct me if I'm wrong, I think Tony Khan does some of these signings as petty signings, as I'm going to start calling them now. Like Keith Lee was a petty signing. It was, oh, you dropped the ball on this guy. I see potential in him, or let me go grab him up so I can gravitate more fans to my product. Because fans are up in arms about this right now. So let me go grab him as a petty signing, and I'm gaining more followers along with him. And you can
I mean, the petty signings are very valid, but so are the petty non-complete clauses. So are the petty
I'm not saying I'm not faulting, I'm not saying that, WWE doesn't have their ways either. But I'm just saying that most of the signings in AEW, if guys who have went from WWE to AEW have been petty signings. I think the only petty signing that's worked out in their favor for the most part is Miro.
I mean, you could argue that. I mean, here's what I'll say for the Keith Lee thing real quick. I know we got to move on. Keith Lee, I don't think it's necessarily a booking problem. I just think it's partly health. It's mostly health.
It is health too.
Because if you look back at the career of Samoa, if you look back at the career of Samoa Joe, like post 2010, he always had those little mini injuries that got him out of action, in and out of TNA. And we were always wondering when we were growing up, we were just like, yo, why isn't he that dominant guy that we saw back in 2005? And it would always be that 2-month run where he's off of TV, right? And that's kind of what people see. And then you also have the stench added on of, this is a very big guy. He looks out of shape. He may not be, but he looks out of shape. So the appearance coupled with that injury struggle, they just kind of slap injury prone next to you. Same thing even happened to Dolph Ziggler, and he's not even a big guy. So, that's what tends to happen. So I just wanted to add that credence. People's champ. Okay.
All right, man. So final topic before we get into the predictions for the semifinals for the King and Queen of the Ring is how do we feel about Swerve's title run?
This is quite the segue.
Just far.
I think Matt should start this because Matt already
we can segue into this situation with Swerve Strickland. Swerve Strickland obviously won the AEW World Championship from Samoa Joe at AEW Dynasty, and he'll be facing this guy if Tyler was here, Christian Cage, and the Patriarchy at Double or Nothing for the world title. How do you see AEW booking his run thus far into his reign, gentlemen?
Vaughn saying the Ruckus title run is crazy.
Yo, that's wild.
Vaughn gotta relax.
Vaughn, I appreciate you in the comments.
I mess with you, but you gotta relax, dog.
That was it. That was the proper terminology for it.
He also said, imagine Keith Lee saying previously on X.
Yeah. He does have a career in voice acting.
Yes, 100%. Yes.
I'm predicting. Nah, boy.
Yes.
Nah, I like that.
Yes,
that was a nice move right there. I like that.
I gotta start this off.
Yeah, go ahead. You already started it off, basically.
You already started it off. You'll kick it off, dog.
Yeah.
It's not Swerve's fault. It's 100% not Swerve's fault. It's not even Christian's fault. Matter of fact, it is Christian's fault because you know better. You know ways. You know better. You've been here before. This ain't new to you. You know how to do. You know how to put stories together. You ain't just great in the ring. You're a great storyteller. And it's horrible that Christian is carrying this damn storyline. It's horrible. I think that what's the name of Swerve's group? Mogul Embassy. It's a stupid name, by the way. I just want to throw that out there. It's dumb as hell. they should be the person that came up with that should be shot instantly in the shoulder, flesh wound. Let it go inside and out through the back. He deserves that. I'm sorry, it's stupid. I want to slap shit out of Rick Ross for that because I blame him for that. But I like lemon pepper wings, so I'm gonna calm down. Right? I just think the Mogul Embassy turned on Swerve way too quick.
Yeah,
we saw it coming. It was horrible. Y'all can't even change my mind on that. Ty can't even change my mind on that. He's usually good at changing my mind on certain storylines.
He's not here, and I can't. And
I can't replicate that.
It's stupid. It's just dumb. It's dumb. And why I don't like what's going on right now? Why is everybody paying attention to the Bucks and the Elite and Tony Khan and freaking what is his name? Not damn it, Kenny Omega, who can't wrestle. We're more focused on that.
No. I think maybe because it's his health. Because of his health.
Relax.
Listen. Matt may be going on a tangent, but he ain't crazy. He ain't crazy.
Not chill. I know the best bout machine was kind of weird. That's a weird name too, but whatever.
Listen,
all right.
You just said
BBM.
Put your knife away, man. Put the pump razor that's in your mouth. Let it go back. Pause. But you get what I'm saying?
My God. Yeah.
I'm just saying, bro. Like, it's why everybody more focused than that? And I even think they doing that storyline a little weird. But it teaches own.
It is what
it's
it is.
just weird. All their storylines could be good, but it's not hitting.
It's execution sucks.
It sucks. The camera angles horrible. Yep. We're literally looking at the Mogul Embassy, looking at Swerve like they about to turn on him. They can't even sell it right. It wasn't a shot. We knew it was going to happen. Why are you the world champion and nobody cares? And I hate that for him.
You know what's worse? How are you basically having a match between Konosuke Takeshita and John Moxley for the IWGP title, and that's being more highlighted than your world championship?
They messed up.
You are all elite wrestling, and you're having a New Japan title. And mind you, Forbidden Door is the following month, and you have your AEW World Champion. Regardless of how you feel about Swerve as champion, that's your flagship title, and it's being relegated to like the CM Punk 2012 run.
World champion is John Moxley, and again, it's nothing against John Moxley, bro. It's nothing against IWGP, whatever the hell it is.
24/7 South.
I-95 South. 7-Eleven.
Hong Kong Air Rush Hour, But it's too much, bro. I just don't like. And again, put everything aside about how people feel about Swerve. Personally, I can't find an F in a clean hallway about the whole situation. Granted, I felt like Boyd pandered by wearing the Black Panther uniform to the Ring to win the title. I felt the way about that, but I let it slide. It's history. It's historic. It is what it is. Yeah, but they messed up from night one. Boyd said nothing. He had an ill-advised match. Granted, it was an okay, good to great match, but who cares? We wanted to hear you talk.
They didn't even do that.
Sell us on why you are our champion and how much it means to you, and why it should mean something to us.
And the worst part of all this is, you're only going to do this for the next 3.5 months just so he can drop it to Will Ospreay. And it's like, y'all just dicking him around just for that moment in Wembley, which is crazy.
But I gotta relax,
bruv.
I'm racist, even though I'm black and Swerve. But we going to that's
bruv. That's exactly what's about to happen, bruv.
And it's nothing.
He's a transitional champion.
That's just all that he is, and it's obvious. They are giving him the Kofi Kingston treatment. They're giving him the Kofi Kingston treatment. And I want to hear the same energy from everybody that shitted on Brock when Brock destroyed Kofi Kingston. Even though I feel like Ospreay and Swerve is going to be a great match, the fight is on the wall. We know what's going to happen.
It's a finish in the first 5 seconds.
Toast and cheese, fam.
This is wild, boy. Tell me why I should care why my champion is black in the AEW. Tell me why I should care when John Moxley is getting more airtime than he is?
Because John Moxley
bro.
bleeds.
Because John, yeah, I mean John Moxley's
I'm taking a Tyler line because John Moxley bleeds. That sounds like something he would say.
Okay, so
It does sound like.
tell me this: why is Jack Perry getting more airtime than my AEW champion? Why do I care about Jack Perry more than him?
Because real glass. Because real glass. Go cry me a river.
CM Punk.
You know why?
Another petty storyline.
Crazy.
to get over. You know, I just want to put this out there. I think CM Punk equals Kendrick Lamar. Let's just say that.
Now, I ain't go for the way they're approaching this is like you're basically carrying on about an ex who the ex been left you, and you still talking about the motherfucker. I'm like, Kendrick, bitch, I don't give a fuck about you anymore. Like, stay over there.
CM Punk equals.
You're not getting fined for cursing no more.
No, that Randy
No.
just.
I'm looking at James.
Carl hasn't corrected.
No, I'm thinking because Randy said the Kendrick Lamar thing, and I'm just like,
I said that.
I didn't say that.
CM Punk and John Cena is Kendrick Lamar and Drake.
CM Punk equals Kendrick Lamar because he
and
has.
John Cena is Drake.
Oh no, that was E. My bad.
Look, it's and right now, actually, you know what?
My man
I don't know if I could call him Kendrick Lamar. I think because at this point, I think Tony Khan has a little bit of Kendrick because he's like, I hate the way that you walk. I hate the way that you talk. I hate the way that you dress. You know.
See, I didn't have to say a thing. I didn't have to.
Yeah, and then
it's something that we do not like to hear, and we can acknowledge that Kendrick won.
Yeah,
but we can also acknowledge that all of his songs are Drake disses and not songs that are denigrated to Kendrick Lamar. We could be adults here and say that. Mm-hmm. The only things that are trending for Tony Khan are things targeted towards CM Punk, like Kendrick's disses to Drake.
It's a parallel. It's definitely a parallel.
All right, I understand.
It's a parallel.
We don't want to call CM Punk Drake.
But in this case, he is.
In this case, he attacks it like Kendrick, but he is the Drake. What's going on?
So to put this in a bow, is there any way before we get to Wembley that they can salvage this run to make it seem at least digestible to the fans?
I don't think so. I don't think, and I think just to me, I think they're kind of coasting to that.
You can't coast when you have. You have Double or Nothing, which is next week, and they've barely done the big promo hype on that.
Right.
And then you got Forbidden Door in New York, the big market next month, and you haven't done the recon.
I agree with you.
And it's like, yo,
I just think what's the I don't know. I won't be there. I'll be there that week, but I might be there at that show. This is what I think. Who's next after Christian?
I'd rather go to church
because I feel like they're just like pulling random names out of a hat.
They can't like I would say Hangman. Hangman would have been an instant thing in my head, but I'm like, if he had a longer run, I would have had Hangman as his end game.
That's been exhausted already. Who wants to see that again?
No, I do. I'd rather see that than I said, the Christian shit is not bad. They are just executing.
I'm not saying it's bad either.
They're executing it poorly, bro. Like clearly. Swerve has a problem with the elite. Christian is doing their bidding. So it makes sense. They are just executing it.
I'm trying to figure out why does Christian follow what the Young Bucks do? That's crazy to me. But anyway.
Yeah. I wouldn't listen to Rod and Todd Fenders myself either. So,
outside of he signs the checks. But
I'll just answer the question.
Always been that way.
Then just sign the checks.
He said it. Great doing business. I look forward to doing more business with you. It's about money, bro. You got to pay attention to
I get it. I don't really. I'm not going to comment too much on Swerve's title run. I'm gonna take a J-esque my way of thinking. Let it cook. I'm gonna let it cook because we could be sitting here a month from now, and it could be a completely different story.
I'm just saying the oil in that pan is
Hey. Sometimes you got that stove. You ever had that old stove that just won't light up? It just keeps clicking. Just
that pilot light is fucked up.
Yeah, that pilot is out.
and you gotta put some fire to the flame, man. So
I'm be completely honest. I just realized why I'm a devil's advocate to this day, and it just came about.
You just figured it out.
I want to preface by saying I know I empathize. Why we lull Knicks in AEW right now? Think about it. We lull Knicks in it because we could easily talk about Cody Rhodes getting cooked by Logan Paul on SmackDown.
That was dope. I loved it.
And we could look at it and be like, yo, shouldn't Cody be? Because Taker already said he want Cody to be a heel. He's boring. And I'm not trying to deflect here, but I'm just sitting there and saying that there's clearly a bias in trusting one not bias in terms of like thing, but just in terms of trust, bias of trust, because we don't trust Khan. That's why we're like, there's no way to salvage it. Wembley is how long ago? Well, how long away?
And like middle of August,
like 3.5 months.
We got time.
That's what I said. Let it cook, man.
We just don't have
that old stove.
We don't trust it. Fair. We could say we don't trust it. Could it be salvaged? Yes. Will it be? I don't know.
So you're excited with Wembley. That's what you're saying, right?
Huh?
You're agreeing.
I'm not even saying. Yeah, I'm going off of what you guys are saying.
But do you believe it? Do you think that's gonna happen? Don't do that.
I appreciate I believe it. But again, here's the thing. Everything is what happens after that. Because sometimes it could be, he could be as similar to what happened with Drew. Like pre-pandemic, he lost the title and they made him hungrier. It built his character to where he went after that thing again. I think that right now, what they have with Swerve, admittedly, that first week was terrible. I do agree. That first week was disgusting.
Yeah,
but
Vaughn said Homelander got cooked by Booster Gold last night.
Exactly. and here's the thing.
That's a good
analogy. And here's the thing, right? If we want to bounce off of that, the juxtaposition of that is going on to flick WWE after WrestleMania and seeing Cody Rhodes say the same promo for 3 weeks.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Let's be fair here.
Yeah.
So all I'm saying is there's trust in one company, there's not trust in the other. Either way, can it happen? Will it happen? Are two different questions. Can it happen? Yes. Will it happen? I don't know. But I believe in the character. I believe in Swerve.
Yeah.
So he's gained my trust. Remember, just last year, I remember Grizz was bigging up Swerve, and I was like, listen, I don't know, man.
I
had to keep my word. I'm not going
to personal outside stuff kind of, rubbed me the wrong way, but I'm not going to deflect from me giving him the endorsement and the man in the ring as well.
But ultimately, the biggest point is I'm not going to be out here TNT and them right now, because at the end of the day, yes, it's bad. It's bad right now.
It don't look good.
It don't look good. The reality is it don't look good. Guess what? A lot of things don't look good on that show. There's a lot of things that are very inconsistent on that show, but there's also some good on that show that we're not shining on right now.
Toast and cheese, fam.
So
that's the only thing. The only thing.
I'm gonna just set it
out of him.
No. Tony Storm's been killing too. I respect what Tony Storm's been doing.
Tony Storm,
you're right. Those are the only things that they're booking right.
Tony Storm,
yeah.
Mariah May, like they've been doing her thing. And Thunder Rosa, since she's been back, she's been putting in work. So
killing it. They even let her talk. I was so proud. Proud.
Because
remember, her talk. I'm like, yes, Thunder. Yes.
Remember where AEW and Thunder Rosa were last year? They were far apart on the line to the point where even people that were in the company were talking trash on her, and seeing what she's doing now. Listen, there's been some progress.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Absolutely.
SMD's fault. That's not Tony's fault. That's SMD's fault.
Listen. You know,
The biggest-
there's progress.
The biggest
There's
point
progress.
is the biggest point is the biggest point is the swerve joint. I graded a D-. It could even be an F. But the situation is the homie could still pass. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. That's the overall arching thing. I'm not gonna sit here and say
going back to the stove analogy. That stove, it just need a little fire to it.
It just need a little fire, man.
Somebody got to fix it.
Somebody just tell Tony Khan to put the oil on the pan, let it grease up a little bit. You're neglecting the pan. You went to the bathroom while the fire is on. You forgot to go back to the kitchen. Just go back to the kitchen, put the grease on, boom, boom.
You ain't gonna start.
The patty's already seasoned. It's good. It's ready. It's primed to go.
Right.
I'm gonna go to your analogy, Gene. They got to the end of the market period, which is Wembley Stadium, to make this right for me to give them a good pass of gravy. And it ain't gonna be a 65 either, goddamn it. That's all I'm.
I'm gonna say it again. Toast and cheese, fam. I'm gonna say it again. Toast and cheese, fam.
All right. So we talked about Ricky possibly leaving AEW. Jay felt like he should stay. Obviously, the rest of the field feel like he should definitely dip and go to bigger pastures in NXT and be the main man on that program. As for Swerve, there's a lot of mixed reviews, but there's a hope to get better, as Matt would say. They have to the end of the marking period to turn that D into a possible C+, maybe, hopefully a B+.
Really quick on the segment before, because to touch on the Ricky Starks thing, right?
Yeah.
I'm hoping, and I trust in Sean, as I'm pretty sure we all do, to develop young stars of tomorrow to go into the position that we want Ricky Starks to be in.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I'm coming from, because we're putting in a ready-made guy off the fact that he looks like a WWE guy, knowing full and well tomorrow we're gonna fall in love. We already talking about Oberfin, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the guys of tomorrow, the thing of what NXT was built on in the first place, I think that they could get that done with or without Starks. That's pretty much the overarching point. I don't want to get that lost. I want to leave that there.
All right, so we got some prediction. Well, what did I want to say this time before we move on?
Drew McIntyre cries more than Drew Hill. Don't let Stan hear you say that.
Yeah, chill. I'm a Drew Hill Stan. Chill. Don't do that to me, boy.
Don't let Stan hear you say that.
I ain't a fan of Zelda either, but he's killing it on the mic lately.
Does he take off his blazer and put it back on and then go on his knees crying? Like what?
I don't know, but the Eminem Stan thing, that was hilarious that he did on Instagram.
I can't wait till he
went on. No. I do you one better. He went on 2K and CM Punk got injured. He posted it.
Yeah. that was funny. That was funny.
I didn't see that.
That was funny.
That was top tier.
But let's get to this. Let's get to the semifinals of the King and Queen of the Ring tournament. Coming up next week. We got starting up on the Raw bracket side for the semifinals. We got. In the semis, we got Gunther versus Jey Uso. 1, 2, 3, Gunther? Or do we feel like because of the rise that Jey Uso's been getting, he might pull out this victory and win on the Raw side of the bracket? What are we feeling, fellas?
I'll be different because I think for storyline purposes, I'd like to see it happen. If we do get the Uncle Howdy thing, I'd like to see Jey win, but get screwed at the end. I'd like to see that. I don't think it hurts Gunther in the end if he loses. I don't think that. I think the losses for Jey Uso in the big one kind of questions the name after a while. You can't be the main event if you can't win the main event. That's a bar. But I don't think it hurts Gunther in the long run.
All right.
But I mean, but if he wins, I'm not mad at it.
Jay,
I'm gonna say Gunther, but I just thought of an alternate reality where they have Tama Tonga versus Jey Uso in the finals, and
that's kind of what would set up the Civil War, to be honest.
The thing is, I from a storyline perspective, it's just like, nice. And that's nice how that sets up. But then I see how the rhetoric is gonna get against Jey Uso because they're gonna be like, "Yo, bloodlines rules again," and then he's gonna take the brunt of it again because of all the things that we spoke about earlier. So I hope not. For all those reasons, I'm picking Gunther.
Okay, that's fair.
All right, Matt.
I want to pick Jay, but I just see how the storyline. Matter of fact, no, I'm picking Jay because I don't see no other storyline for Jay outside and winning the King of the Ring. Whereas Gunther has that arc where it looks like he's trying to rebuild or rebrand Imperium a little bit, or it might look like he might try to build towards something with Dragunov. So I don't know. Like I pay attention to certain things, like the stare down before they went outside, before they went to that match between Dragunov and Jay, and then I pay attention to the stare down when Gunther came out and went to the ring. He looked at Dragunov before he went and did the stare down with Jay. So it's like I pay attention to that. So something is clearly there. I don't know if it's going to lead into Gunther winning the King of the Ring or after the King of the, like, being that he lost in the King of the Ring, he has that arc with Dragunov, whereas Jay doesn't really have much of a story outside of King of the Ring. Unless
it's like with Gunther, it's kind of like it's kind of like this. No, I'm not talking about with Gunther has nothing to lose here. Nothing, absolutely. Jay has everything to lose in this situation. But I'm talking about with Gunther is kind of more like with Dragunov, it's like, yo, you don't have no friends over here. You know, we used to squabble back in the day, but you know, let me keep you close. What's that saying goes? Keep your friends close and your enemies closer.
Yeah.
You know, Gunther playing chess, not checkers. You know, it's like, all right, I'm gonna recruit you. I'm gonna take you under my wing. I've been here longer than you. You know, but don't get it twisted. At the first sight, you getting this chop. You're getting this chop across your chest.
I feel that I'd say, like, especially for like these tournament type of things, I'd want Gunther to win for the one reason, especially with the Ilya dynamic. Us being basketball fans, right? Knick fans especially. Let's hark back to 2013. Hopefully not. Let's focus on 2013. Not now, but 2013. We're 3-1 against the Heat. We're one round away. We lose. But what do we always say? Yo, if we face Miami, bro, shoot, Bron ain't winning, bro. 2013, he ain't winning, man. He ain't going back to back. Or if not, it's going to be tough. This, that, what have you. That's what the most delusional of Knick fan would say. Now, apply that to Ilya's dynamic. If I was there, one round away, I know I could beat you, and you know that I know that I could beat you. That dynamic, I could mess with. Because anytime, that's why I love tournaments like this, because any single time that somebody has that little dynamic is just about styles. It's about
Dre, you got
Stop bringing
my God.
Bro, y'all went home in the first round.
It's fair. No, that's fair. Fair assessment, you know. The words of Anthony Edwards talk to a person while they're down. That's great. But unfortunately, they've been.
Dre.
Listen, Dre.
Start him out, bro.
Is Dre a Heat fan by chance?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'll say this much, Dre. Appreciate you. He whooped our asses, but y'all on vacation so quick, y'all returned. So, like, y'all already had y'all vacation. Y'all came back. Y'all already back home from vacation. Now y'all watching us in game set. So enjoy tomorrow, 3:30. Stay sharp.
We're living rent free in Jimmy Butler's head right now.
You know what I'm saying? It's all good. Of all people, Josh Hart was worth a mention to Jimmy Butler. Get a load of that. I wonder why. Maybe it was because he was on Team USA and he wasn't. But that's a story for another day. We can keep talking. We can keep going on that. But shout out to Dre. We love you. You know what I'm saying? Big baby. Although I want to point this one last thing out. Big Baby in these streets are a very tough name these days because he's been arrested for 90 months. So to each his own.
Damn.
No
With
fraud,
that,
no fraudulent activity. I
with
just want to
this-
put that out there. Don't mess with my nigga.
with that said, I think Jay.
Window or aisle seat. I mean,
J-
listen, again, Big Baby. Last time I've seen Big Baby Davis was on the airplane when he was flashing money, and he got arrested for that same thing. So, just like how OG Anunoby will put Jimmy Butler in jail, just sit back and enjoy the show before we put you in jail. So it's all good. We keep it rolling. We keep it rolling.
We were hurt this year, bro. We were half our
We
team.
were hurt.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
It's all good.
No. We're not gonna. He's crying wolf right now. He's crying wolf. Yeah.
Next match. Let's go to SmackDown. Semifinals for SmackDown. Ironically, his Bloodline member Tama Tonga, who for whatever reason was exhibiting the Tasmanian Devil last night. As he defeated LA Knight. He'll be facing Randy Orton, as Randy Orton predicted. These two men have a disdain for one another, and it's going to be one of those, hard-hitting matches. With everything going on between these two, how do you guys see this match unfolding in terms of who goes to the finals?
I think Randy's going to be a vet here.
Yeah,
I think Randy's going to be a vet
and give Tama the win.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't feel like there's no harm in Randy beating Tama Tonga. Like, I don't feel like anybody bats the eye.
I don't think there's no harm either way. I don't think either guy has anything to lose in this situation. I think it hurts Tama more because of the story. I don't think it hurts him as a character because who is he as a character in WWE? A Hitman. Right, but the thing is that we don't. What has he done lately? You know what I mean? We just know. Okay, he's with. Right, exactly. That's my point. He just got here.
We know he's not winning the King of the Ring, so that.
No, we know he's not winning the King of the Ring.
So
we know
he has to lose something.
But I think Randy does the vet thing here because I don't think Randy gains or loses anything from winning.
Oh, I think I just figured out what I'm. Well, I just figured. All right, remember we just
maybe Solo, because Solo. I see. You know what I see happening?
Yeah, that makes sense now.
Yeah. That's why I said it.
That's why it's set up that way. I think Randy does the vet thing, but I think we're waiting on Solo's next big match, and I think that sets up Solo and Randy for SummerSlam.
He needs a tailor. First of all, he needs a tailor for them suits. I love Solo, but he needs a tailor for them suits.
He's not. Listen.
He needs a tailor.
Listen, bruv.
I swear I see Grizz every time he comes out. Like,
bruv. Relax on my guy. Relax on my guy.
I swear, yo.
He's not.
Like,
he's not.
Grizz should never wear a blonde mohawk. This is not it.
I can't grow hair, so it doesn't matter. Let's relax on my guy. Number one. Number two, he's not used to wearing clothes. He's used to being barefoot, heavily taped, walking around with no shirt on, ready to wreck shop. That's what he does. That's him.
He wore a shirt before. I just don't think it
was. He's not even used to talking. He's used to doing what Jay is doing right now. He's used to doing that and screaming. He doesn't talk.
I'm on board with what he's doing. I'm not gonna hold you.
I am too.
I'm on board with it too. I like it, but I do agree. He needs to get it a little more fitted. But
did
you talk to the tribal chief?
He looks a little.
I even like that little intricate thing. I'm almost certain he didn't.
He looks a little 2002 NBA draft class with the suits on.
Yeah, a little mellow.
Just gotta tell it just a little bit, man. I ain't say, just gotta tell it them suits.
Like Carmelo Anthony, that's just wild.
Yeah. Hey man,
baggy suit era. Baggy, come on now,
man. I'll never take your advice, Mello. 2003. That whole little commercial.
Well,
Every
2003.
NBA commercial.
Yeah, but I think Randy does the vet thing, and Tama goes over by hook, or by crook.
If Tama wins, then it is Jay and Jay and Tama in the finals. My thing is, I mean, first off, my bracket's been busted because I know we were talking about busted brackets, all this stuff. Back has been busted. Pause. Realize. Here's what I'll say. I think Tama loses with winning for the exact reasons that I mentioned Jay winning. Just because, again, a lot of the like King of the Ring, you think when you think King of the Ring, you think Bret Hart. When you think King of the Ring, you think Kurt Angle. When you think King of the Ring, you think not necessarily like, and yes, they've strayed away from it with the gimmicks in recent years, but I think for fans, or at least the most cynical of WWE fans, they're going to look at it and be like, you brought King of the Ring back for the bloodline.
Yeah, I can see that.
That's why I'm just kind of like, so like when we got into it and I immediately saw Jay thing, I gasped because I was like, yo, we might have this, and this might, and it might be the reality. There's a 25% shot because they're the last 4 people in the bracket. So ultimately speaking, I think, or 3, 33 chance, whatever. But point is, if Tama wins, it's going to be Jay Uso. Yeah, Steiner Maths. Yeah, no, but Tama wins, it's going to be Jay. I would love it to be Gunther Randy Orton, but it makes probably not much sense. But I feel like, again, you make a storyline out of a storyline. And you kind of add to it because afterwards, we talk about what people have afterwards? What the hell does Randy Orton have?
Right.
Yeah.
That's why I said he doesn't have anything to lose or gain.
Like how is he
the one U.S. title?
I mean, think about it is because if Orton loses, he could still have an open program with Tama Tonga going forward.
He already does.
Which is what I'm saying. And then of course when Kevin Owens comes back,
it would be Randy and Solo. Remember, Solo has to establish himself as this tribal chief that he thinks he is.
The tribal heir.
We already seen them fight, and I think Orton won. It was on a SmackDown like months ago.
But it hasn't been on a big PLE yet.
It hasn't been on a big PLE, and this is the first chance to basically showcase Solo as someone to be taken like.
Which a lot of people have been complaining about.
Okay. I got you guys. Bigger picture. Who do you want Cody's major feud to be? His first major feud, because all of these are side quests. What is his first major feud?
I wanted to be Gunther.
He's on Raw.
Yeah, I know. That's what I said. That's who I wanted it to be. But if we're going on SmackDown, honestly, after seeing what I saw last night, I don't see no problem with him and Jake Paul having
like a pay-per-view by pay-per-view program.
Yeah, I don't see no wrong in it.
We can see that, but
they can carry a storyline. Because he knows how to talk. They both know how to talk, and I feel like Cody needs somebody that has chops on the mic to help carry that story. Whereas when he was going against Roman, he was the only one talking. It'll be him and Rock or him and Paul Heyman for the most part.
I think what happens is this, right? Let's just say we do get Tama, because I don't know what the winner gets. Does the winner get a title shot or what? Because old King of the that's what I'm saying. Old King of the Ring.
I said stupid.
Recent King of the Ring rules. Nobody got anything. You just got the title.
Shout out to the King of Hearts.
But everyone else got a title shot, in the past that we grew up on. So let's just say they go back to that, right?
They need to.
Tama gets a shot at Cody. Cody's whole thing is kind of like what Jey Uso is. Can't escape the bloodline, no matter what. Like my name is going to be tied to the bloodline. I think that's where we're getting at. But I agree with Jay as well. It's like fans are going to complain about you brought back something that we clamored for, that we asked for, that we begged and pleaded for, only to give it to a storyline that's been carrying this company now for almost 5 years. But on the flip side of that, it's a storyline that's been carrying for 5 years that's been bringing in revenue. So,
you know, and I know that is not an argument worth making.
Yeah, I'm good on that.
Here's the kicker. All right, and here's why I brought that up. The correct answer to me is Randy Orton. How you get there? He should be the guy on SmackDown. How do you get there? He should win and lose in the finals, and then afterwards find a way. Maybe there's a mini feud still with the bloodline, but the overarching thing is in singles competition, Randy Orton is a credible guy. You don't beat the guy by basically Jinder Mahaling him.
Yeah.
And then eventually making him, because to your point, you brought up the Logan Paul Cody Rhodes dynamic. Let's examine that. Here's where it's going to get stale. What are they going to talk about outside of the fact that Logan Paul is an internet sensation and Cody Rhodes family? There's no substance other than their
Cody Rhodes is traditional professional wrestling, whereas Logan Paul is right now the social media aspect of wrestling. They couldn't throw him on that.
But unless if they add layers, maybe it's a gimmick. Maybe Logan Paul makes him bleed, something along those lines. Maybe he turns into a blood.
It's capable. Sure. He uses the brass knucks.
It's absolutely. But how do you really see it as something that you could sink into? Personally, I don't. Because Logan Paul's happy-go-lucky and Cody Rhodes' whole beat has just been, I conquered the mission.
He's like, then what? Everything is then what?
His character is just as in that was the whole point back with the AEW argument with Swerve. His character is his motivations are just as in flux as Swerve's. What does he need? What does he need? He needs a person who he has close ties with. He needs important. He needs a backstory to sink into, because internet sensation, a lot of those things, like it would work if Logan Paul did not have the same dynamic with everybody else.
Yeah, that's true.
But does everybody have the same, I guess, emotional and family bloodline to professional wrestling? So it kind of makes sense.
It's like he's protecting. He's faced certain people, man. Like he's faced pedigreed wrestlers before.
But I'm saying I don't think we all look at Rey Mysterio in the same light as we look at Dusty Rhodes or like NWA is. That's like tradition. I'm talking about like the old guard. In a sense, Cody Rhodes is carrying the old guard because right now he's the only champion that has won the NWA champion.
Yeah.
So I mean, he's technically the old guard. He's holding the old guard. He got that blessing from Taker. He got that blessing from Cena. He's gotten that blessing from Orton. Like, you know what I'm saying? Triple H. He's practically the old guard now. He's the guard.
He did. But Taker, the person who blessed him, also said he should turn heel.
No, I agree. I 100% agree. And I feel like if you're going against Logan Paul, Jake, what the fuck his name? He's one of them damn Pauls.
No, it's Logan.
Logan.
It's very possible for him to go heel. It's very possible for him to go.
I think I agree with Jay. I think you do Orton. There's more substance there. I'm just looking at it as this is a way for them. I feel like, you know what? I'll take it back because I think no matter what, you can write that bloodline story. No matter what, you could have Solo show up on a what's good, Devin? You could have Solo show up on a random Raw just because. Just do because he feels like, look, I'm the tribal heir. I can do what Roman Reigns does. I could jump shows if I wanted to. It doesn't matter.
All right, guys, I gotta go. I gotta get on Yerrr real quick. I'm gonna holler at y'all.
All right, man, peace.
All right, yeah.
So I think Randy Orton is the better choice, and if the winner does get a title shot, Randy doesn't have to declare right away, "Yo, I'm going after Cody Rhodes." He could kind of sit and let that linger, rack up some wins, and the next thing you know, he could come out. Cody could come out there, be a Dominic Toretto, talk about family.
That's it.
And then next thing you know, RKO out of nowhere.
Like here's the thing. Bottom line, I think about it as big picture because Cody Rhodes' title reign is, in my personal opinion, is running the risk of becoming stale very quick.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've seen it with a Eddie Guerrero. I've seen it with a Benoit where they won the title, their main mission. Both people, well, not necessarily Benoit, he just was mentored by somebody with a heavy pedigree. But in Eddie Guerrero's case, a person with a huge pedigree come in and he wins. And then afterwards, there's really no story other than just the match. We were just talking about how AEW, a lot of their matches, a lot of their storylines are empty, are a little bit empty. Again, I raise you this. And it's not necessarily say, again, similar to how Matt mentioned, it's not Swerve's fault, it's not Cody's fault either. But if you give him something to sink into to where it taps into more layers of his character, why should I care about like we already AJ Styles and Cody Rhodes was a 5-star match. Why doesn't it feel like I'm having a 5-star match worthy title run? That's my point. And why does this all matter with the Randy Orton thing? It's because if you beat him now in a storyline where he is probably the 3rd or 4th or 5th or 6th or even 7th most relevant character in the storyline, how do you parlay that months from now where he is a credible title contender? And yet, granted, it's Randy Orton, he's established. But you'd run the risk of making Randy Orton the same way we saw AJ Styles when he won. Another opponent where Cody could win. You have to build Randy Orton in a way where he is at the very least on SmackDown, because I personally want Gunther to win. But at the very least on that brand, that guy. You already beat LA Knight. Who is that guy? Is it Randy Orton? Is it Kevin Owens? Who is that guy? Let it be Randy Orton.
All right, so sticking to SmackDown, we got the Queens of the Ring bracket, and we're gonna stick with SmackDown. So we're gonna talk about Bianca Belair versus Miss Nia Jax. Of course, Jade Cargill necessarily, she was disqualified in her match against Nia Jax this past Friday, and there was some squabbling outside in the ring, and of course Jade Cargill was also bleeding, and it was a lot going on yesterday. You even saw, the usual Jamie Noble sighting after every skirmish. You see Jamie Noble trying to break it up, and of course you saw a little bit of blood, a little bit of color from Miss Jade Cargill. But nevertheless, one half of the women's tag team champions will not be moving on, while the other will, facing the person who definitely caused that gash last night in Nia Jax. So, fellas, going into next week, please, semifinal matchup. Nia Jax, who's returned and had quite the run thus far, and of course the upstart Jade Cargill, who's debuted in WWE here in ring in 2024 and is already a tag team champion and looking for more to put on to her first year on the WWE brand. Who do we have moving on to the finals for the SmackDown bracket for the women?
Nia Jax.
I like that move right there.
Nia Jax, man. I when I saw them do what they did, because last week again, my bracket was busted on Monday. But women's was shattered on Friday when that whole situation happened. I thought that was probably the very best way that they could do that match. Jade Cargill and Nia Jax. It was the most emotionally invested I've been in either of one of them. I would say Nia Jax has been pretty consistent recently because a lot of the stipulation matches, hardcore matches, things of that nature, right? Jade, I think in some way she might cost Bianca. I don't know if this leads to them immediately splitting. I hope not. But I do think that in a way, it's a thing where Nia uses her intelligence to kind of get Jade so upset that she costs Bianca Belair when Bianca's like, yo, chill. And then they just go on their merry way and they rock out and they do their own thing. Nia Jax screams to me similar to a Big Show during the mid-2000s, the giant of the bracket, the last two in the Rumble, the last person, the final boss, if you will, of tournaments, right? No pun intended, because the family relation. But I do think that Nia Jax is the perfect candidate for this. But I do again preface the fact by saying that my bracket has fully been busted. I need to stop saying that word. But yeah, don't take my word for it. But I'd say Nia Jax.
E.
Oh, we're muted. We're
We're
muted.
muted.
Oh, my bad. I think I'm gonna go Big Daddy Nia on this one for sure. Especially with recent Twitter rumors going around.
Yeah,
You know that's because I don't know if you saw Jay, but I know you got the wrestling hat on, but I got more of the shade room hat, if you will, on right now. Apparently Montez Ford, father of 3.
Oh.
Apparently.
I heard about this.
I mean, I'm just saying. Apparently, allegedly.
Allegedly.
Oh my gosh.
You know, I don't know how true it is, but you know,
Dawkins was egging that shit on Twitter, bro.
Okay. I want to put it out there, on behalf of the Backstage Brawl and all of the IWC. Bianca Montez, just off the fact that we're rumoring this, whether it not to be true, if it true or not to be true, just understand we do this because we stand you guys. You guys are gold.
We love you.
That is the reason why, even if it's if we're doing this, it's because we want it, and according to the reality show, Montez wants it. So it's not on. I'm not going to absolve us, but
he wanted like how hip hop fans want a new Outkast album.
Exactly. Just give us, just like you would. I'm pretty sure they would want grace. Give us as fans grace to kind of calm our feels down, because we giddy. We want to see an athletic kid.
We want to see it happen, and I think and for the most part,
on their time.
On their time.
Let's
put that out there. On their time. But we would love to see it happen, because you guys, I think, for the most part, give us hope.
Yes.
In a lot of generations. And we're not talking wrestling, we're talking real life.
Real life.
Everybody wants to find their partner. Everybody wants to find the person that makes them whole.
Matching clothes.
Characters, everything.
All that.
To find someone that loves the same things that you love and enjoys the same things that you do. That and this is going to sound like a very old thing to say, but dots your I's and crosses your T's. Like we all looking for that.
Yeah.
So when we see it on camera and we know it's there, we want everything for you guys.
Yeah.
Granted, fans can be overzealous. They can be very pushy. They're like, yo, they done told Montez, yo, you man, you gotta put a baby in that thing.
You gotta get it done.
You gotta get it done. And Montez is sitting over there like,
I'm trying.
I'm trying, but seriously, if it is true, if it's not an alleged thing and it is true, congratulations to the couple. We are very excited. We know the work ethic of Bianca Belair, and even though she has publicly said she does not like to take a break, she is fully on 100% and go at all times. We're here to tell you, especially for somebody who has people who struggle with mental health and physical health and everything, it's okay to take a break.
Yeah.
It's okay. Not everything, you don't got to save the world all the time. But getting back to the wrestling aspect of it, I got Nia Jax pick. I think Nia Jax is the right move right now. She's had an incredible run since she's been back. She's been part of a lot of big moments in WWE.
Mm-hmm.
She's had an amazing match with Becky Lynch. They've brought that back full circle.
Main event elimination chamber with Rhea Ripley.
Main event elimination chamber with Rhea Ripley. She was amazing in that. I know a lot of people are skeptical. Oh, she's stiff in the ring. She's
gotten better.
She's a unsafe worker. She's boring. She's this. She's that. Listen, I get it. She did get better. She did get better. I've always liked Nia Jax. I've never not liked Nia Jax for more reasons than another, but I've never not liked Nia Jax. I liked her in NXT. I liked her on the main roster. Yes, she had a couple of here and there's that need to be worked on, but I think those here and there's at this present time have been cleaned up and tweaked to a point where it has become more than respectable that Nia Jax is showcased and featured on your TV every week. And they would not put her in that spot or in that position, especially with one of the top women in WWE, if they didn't have the faith in her. Exactly. So I don't think Bianca wins this. Not off of accusations, but just off of pure, I think this is Nia Jax's time. If there was ever a time for Nia Jax, especially if, again, the winner gets a title shot, if there was ever a time for Nia Jax to step into that light, it's now. It's now or never with her. Because if she loses, she's reverting back to what she was, at least in my opinion, what she was prior to her release.
That's true.
I agree. So basically, the floor got Nia Jax winning. For the King of Ring semifinals for the men, we got for the most part, it's kind of split in terms of who they want. They kind of provided either Randy or Tama. Some people, obviously, with the Raw side for the men's, they talked about, we talked about Gunther and Jay. But for the women on Raw, last match will be Lyra Valkyria going against Io Sky.
Ooh, okay.
I thought I had it penciled in, but even now I don't, because of the fact that of what they view Lyra Valkyria to be, which is why I'm holding back on my penciling in who I thought was going to win. So, for you gentlemen, who you got winning this one? Going to the
I'll go Lyra. I think there's a lot of storyline that is there for her. There's a lot of potential that's there for her. They're kind of like building her like a mini Becky, essentially. Not in character, but just in terms of presentation, and just them putting out there that, hey, you're Irish, I'm Irish, let's Irish, you know what I mean? Just even those little notions there, her basically coming in for like saves and whatnot. Like, I think that there's something there, and the dynamic of her being in a finals with Nia Jax, I think, will be something that bigs her up more so than anything. I think that she wins the most off of that. Io Sky, I do feel like there's, and I felt this way when she was champion, Io Sky is run the risk of becoming that Molly Holly type, the Victoria type, that character that deserves everything that they're given, but there's really not much outside of aesthetic, perhaps, or at the very least they're in ring to kind of go off of. And it may not even be a character thing. It may not even be like you can't talk on the mic. It's just something like, for whatever reason, there's really not much to sink into. So much so that when you look back at the Ruthless Aggression era and you think of all these women's wrestlers on Raw, you immediately go Trish and Lita, and they were probably the 5th and 6th best women's wrestlers on the roster, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
And then on the flip side, you look at a Victoria grinding, you look at a Jacqueline, and I could go on and on. I think that Io Sky runs the risk of that. That said, if she does run the risk of that, I don't think that it's too big of an issue. And if that is the case, she's definitely going to be one of those big match player type of people. I think is going to be a fantastic match, just as Io Sky had a fantastic match this past week. But I do feel like she's going to do the honors for Lyra, because it does do her a bigger service than Io Sky right now.
Okay. We all seen the movie Rocky, right?
Mm-hmm.
what's the point of Rocky? What's the meat and bones of the movie Rocky?
Underdog.
The underdog, but he is the underdog, but the underdog does what?
Overachieves.
And loses at the end.
He goes, but the main point is he goes the distance.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we're seeing with Lyra.
Yep.
She's going to go the distance. Because, and let's put it in, I'll even take it a step further. Let's take the Rocky aesthetic out of it. NCAA, right? We just finished up the tournament not too long ago. And I guess you could say two teams you expected to be there were there. Definitely UConn. But we always have those years where a team is a Cinderella story. Comes out of nowhere. Like you said, Jay, I don't want to say no Diddy because of recent events, but I guess we could say no TD Jakes. No TD Jakes here. Because he's involved in that. Your bracket's busted. It's done. It's been done. It's been shot.
Over.
Yeah, it's been done. Word to Kenny the Jet Smith. It's over, ladies and gentlemen. So that is what Lyra is. Lyra is that 16th seed that nobody's given a shot. That every round she goes to, it's like, oh, Lyra versus who? Oh yeah, Lyra's losing this one. Then she wins. Next match. Oh yeah, she's gonna lose that one too. Nope. Now we're here. We're here.
And this is around and this is around the time where you're just like, what would be cool if?
Yeah.
You know what would be cool if?
You see what I'm getting at. So now you got to look at it. There's percentage of fans that are saying, it'd be cool if Lyra actually won and she went on to the finals. Then you have those fans that are saying Lyra can go all the way. Then you have those fans that are still hating and saying, nope, she's not winning this one. Io's a former champ. Not happening. I don't see that happening. And as far as damage control goes, if we're talking about anybody that needs to be disbanded at the moment right now, I think it's damage control. And that plays a part with Io Sky. I think you start to open up that can of worms with an Io Sky loss. Because now the argument can be, you lost at WrestleMania, you lost here to get to if the winner gets a title shot, you lost here. What are you good for? Why are you here? Why are we here? So that argument can be made. But I got Lyra picked. I think she goes all the way, goes against Nia Jax. We go to Saudi, and it ends with Nia winning it out. I know we'll probably do a round 3 with the 2 finals, but I'm just gonna say I think it's gonna be Nia at the end.
Yeah, same.
I mean that's what it looks like, man. We got Nia probably just going through the finals and becoming queen of the ring, and of course on the flip side it could be Jay, it could be Gunther.
But I still think Lyra shows out.
Oh no, most definitely. This is listen. Anybody that you see in the brackets is basically a showcase to see what they can do.
Yeah,
and for Lyra, this is a huge opportunity to showcase what she could definitely do in terms of the near future. Obviously, they want to tease again her against Becky at some point. If she wins down the line, but obviously this is a good measure to see how she could basically hold stock onto the main roster, because it's one thing for NXT people, fans of NXT can latch onto you and support you, but it's other on the main roster when you're trying to break through into a much larger crowd. But that will do it in terms of our King of the Ring round 2 predictions. Round 3 we'll start off next week, and of course going into next Saturday around this time will be the actual King and Queen of the Ring tournament live from Saudi Arabia. And much like how we did our last PLE, which was early as well, we will basically be doing the same as last week. We'll be doing a pre-show, doing predictions for the show, and might be doing a watch party or a post-show, who knows, in terms of next week's show here on the BrawlCast. So I haven't done this in a while. So, Big E, do we have a match of the week?
We actually don't this week. I wasn't expecting it. I've been super, 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 super busy. Not only that, I've been stressing because we don't have to say it. We know what happened. Sunday 3:30 ABC. Just watch it. But if I did it, but you know what? I'll give you something that has kind of been on my mind lately. And I don't forgive me because I don't know the exact dates. I give you guys dates when I do my matches of the week. But I've been really heavily thinking about the Steve Austin and Taker feud, ministry feud.
Oh, 98?
Yes. I've been heavily thinking about that. And I haven't been heavily thinking about it as like a deep thing. It's just one of those, we all have them as wrestling fans. It's like, that was actually a pretty good feud. Like
it's been so much, and you just like
yeah.
You
just have those moments where you kind of zone out and you think, and you're like, like I know a lot of people give flack to a couple of feuds in history where it's kind of just like it fell flat, but then you go back and you revisit it. It's like it's not as bad as you thought it was. Nah. Like the Bray and Braun, during the pandemic. It's not as bad as you thought it was. Nah. Very psychological, very deep. But if I did have something to pick for you guys, definitely check out that Steve Austin and Taker feud going into 98. Forgive me, I don't have the exact dates, but that whole ministry thing and Stephanie hanging, Stone Cold hanging on the cross and all of that on the Taker symbol. Like, again, Vince McMahon is a wild man for even putting that on TV.
Wait, was that 98 or 99?
No. The feud began in 98, but it carried on in 99. So if you talk about
the Steph Cross deal was 99.
The step was 99, but like the beginning of like that Taker Austin,
yeah.
But when like he became ministry, it was like late December when he first fully turned into the ministry side, and then like going into 99, that was the whole Steph situation. Like it was a long feud.
So I give you guys a feud of the week instead of a match of the week.
I like that.
More bang for your buck.
I like that.
You okay?
All right. So next week you can join us here on the BrawlCast. We're going to join you with predictions for King and Queen of the Ring. Still kind of unchecked in terms of whether or not we're going to do a live show or a post show. Most likely.
And I guess
we're going to go live anyway.
Talk Double or Nothing post show.
Yes, talk Double or Nothing as well because Double or Nothing is the very next day. But before we sign off, there's one question I have to ask that's been around social media as of late, and I feel like I should ask the floor.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Do you believe?
First off,
I believe in Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry.
It's like you have to clap. You can't not clap. It's you have to clap. You know what? There comes a time in wrestling where you always get these kind of goofy moments that just turn into gold. And this is one of them. And he's taking it. Shay! Like you always get these moments that just turn into gold. You don't expect it, right? We've seen it with Miro with Rusev Day, turned into gold. We've seen it with R-Truth with his antics and what he does. So you always get these moments where it just you don't expect it to get as big as it is. And it's literally everywhere. I don't know, TikTok algorithm, it's like every other video. It's like say his name, man. You go to the next video. You go to the next video, it's TikTok shop. You go to the next video, it's something relationship stuff. It's funny, something funny, and then next thing you know, say his name, and you're like, damn, again, and you're just swiping. And look, I love it. I'm starting to use that line in my everyday life now. It's just like I don't sing the song, but I'm just like, say his name and he appears. Like, say his name. He's He's Candyman of wrestling. No, it's okay.
It's all good. Shit.
We love you. We love you for even giving us the view. Totally agree. He's the best, and he's not a bad wrestler at all.
No, at all.
He's really not. My variant doesn't like him. You know, AJ Francis doesn't like him. So I mean, there's that.
Crazy. Yeah.
We should all do a listening party to push it to the billboard, and it's on iTunes and Spotify. That shows you how. It's on my wrestling playlist.
I like that move.
It's on my wrestling playlist. So that shows you that this has gone bigger. This man was tied with Taylor Swift on the charts.
Which is crazy as a wrestler. That's crazy,
a wrestling
bro.
Theme. And
as a wrestling theme.
And the theme is amazing.
Bro, and think about it is, this is great. If anything, this has been great PR in the run for TNA. Because
Absolutely.
It's like, as great as the wrestlers are, you do need a hook at times for people to kind of draw into your company. These are things with Joe Hendry. These are things that can definitely get fans, more and more fans invested in terms of the product. We all know about the Scott Alexanders. We know about the Mooses of the world. We know about ABC. We know about the great knockouts division that they routinely have. But at times, you know, you kind of need a hook to kind of get people to kind of watch the show more often than not. And AJ Francis has been doing his things over there, you know. See my boy Rich Swann again, because you know Swann was one of my favorite cruiserweights coming up. So to see him doing his thing again, especially being paired off with AJ Francis, has been cool. So
just braid the hair, man.
Braid the hair, bro. But like,
look like Jaylen Brown, him and Jaylen Brown, their hair just pisses me off every time.
But to see Joe Hendry do what he's been able to do,
I'm sorry,
and have the fun that he's been having on TNA. It's been great to see.
It's the aesthetics of what professional wrestling is.
Should be. Yeah.
And not only that, it's fan interaction, which gets you over. Because if you have the crowd, no matter if you can't wrestle, if you can wrestle, if you can't talk, if you can talk,
if you put asses to seats, that's what matters.
If you can do that and get the fans behind you,
hey.
Your money to be made. And the only thing that I want to stop is the comparisons to Bo Dallas. I get it.
There's been comparisons to Bo?
Yeah. Like as far as their character goes.
They gotta stop being lazy with them takes, man.
I see it, I get it, but these are completely two different people. Bo Dallas in NXT was more of that guy that kind of egged you on. He's that co-worker at work that's always chipper at 5 a.m. when you're the guy that's like dragging. You haven't had your coffee yet. You know, Bo Dallas is the, hey, good morning, how you doing? Ready to get to work? Let's do this. And
he's Butters. He's Butters from South Park. That's basically what it is.
No, because Butters gets into trouble and it's not his fault. Let's talk about it. Sometimes Butters is naive. Bo Dallas is not naive. Bo Dallas is that annoying co-worker that you just can't stand for no reason.
Bo Dallas is the socially, like he doesn't take social cues well. He's that
right.
He's that
right.
I think Joe Hendry is more Bobby Roode NXT.
Yes, that's perfect. Joe Hendry is more Bobby Roode because, and no disrespect to Bobby Roode because I love Bobby Roode. Bobby Roode in TNA, man, let me tell you something. Couldn't tell me nothing about that man. Bobby Roode in NXT, outside of his wrestling, outside of he didn't really have to do much mic work. He was all entrance.
Yeah.
It was glorious. And everyone sung the song. Same thing here. I'm not saying Joe Hendry can't wrestle. I'm not saying Joe Hendry is not a good mic worker because he is. He actually, his cues are very much on point if you watch some of his backstage promos.
He's good.
It it's to a point where people don't want to say his name because he's going to show up eventually. So the cues are great. Everything's great. I just want let's stop the comparisons. Joe Hendry is Joe Hendry.
Let him be him.
Let him be him. And it's working for him.
Yeah. All right, y'all, man. We've been on for quite some time now. we've had our fun. We've talked about the King of the Ring, King and Queen of the Ring. We gave y'all some of our takes for the week. Next week we will be back talking about the actual pay-per-view event and a little bit of Double or Nothing. So please keep it locked here at the Backstage Brawl via the Sports Hitlist on Facebook. Of course, we're also on YouTube and Twitter. We will do the prediction show, the pre-show. Kicking off at 12 o'clock next week, of course, because the main show for King of the Ring kicks off at 1. And I believe, hopefully, I don't know. I'll figure out whether or not we do it live.
Subject to change.
Subject to change.
Stay tuned to it.
Card is subject to change.
Stay tuned.
But with that said, please make sure to hit that subscribe button on our YouTube channel at the Backstage Brawl. Follow us on Twitter at _Brawl. You can find this show on Facebook weekly by the way of the Sports Hit List. And please continue to support your boys here at the Backstage Brawl. With us being the People's Champion, joined by the Golden Child, a.k.a. Josh Hart's left rib, and Grizz. He's a fan. Tomorrow, 3:30. It's gonna be it's gonna be
nothing to do with this. We out.
Well, with that said, it's been the BrawlCast.
48 minutes over here. We people got bill to pay, people to see, place to be. This is the Golden Child. That is the People's Champ. That is Diamond Cutter. We out.
Peace.
I say goodbye. I say goodbye.